Ooh, Kalela. A Paratikatamba. Muzza, muzza, muzza. Ooh, allaway, allaway, allawa. That is the spirit of deep Portage.
Deep Portage started in 1973, and there were several members in the local community that were members of the Isaac Walton League. They knew that there was 6,000 acres of land out here that had been logged over and then tax forfeited. There are hundreds of glacial moraine hills. There are 11 different lakes. There are numerous wetlands, and the forest type is varied and magnificent. We've had numerous wolf sightings. We've had occasional moose sightings. Of course, there's lots of white-tailed deer. Very good diversity of bird species, fisher, bobcat, to name a few, lots of porcupine. We operate the year-round. We have quite a few groups that like to come here, believe it or not, in January and February. 90% of what it costs for Deep Portage to operate every year comes from user fees. So that's the tuition that the students, through fundraising or through the help of their parents, pay to come to Deep Portage. And then our board, a nonprofit board, raises the remaining 10% every year. Now we have 54,000 square feet in the main lodge, and there's another 4,500 square feet in the interpretive center. And new this year, we're building the remote classroom, which is a log cabin, and then we're also constructing a 24-foot diameter yurt out in the wildlife opening. There are approximately 8,000 students that come through Deep Portage every year from about 100 different schools, and from all over the state, and some from out of state. We have Iowa clients, and then a group from Dusseldorf, Germany, that comes every year. We have 198 beds, so we can accommodate, generally the largest group that we've had here is about 175.
It was a little confusing to find our rooms at first. The boys were all put on the lower level, and us girls stayed on the upper level. Our first stop was the Great Hall, where we met some of our new teachers. They told us the rules, and we found out which group we were in.
We always have more than enough parents, which is so fabulous. We usually have 2 parents per group, and we keep them very busy. And you know, some parents who have never been here before don't really know what to expect, and it always turns out to be just a fabulous experience for everybody. We couldn't do it without parents.
Conservation is a big part of Deep Portage, so we weighed and tracked all of the waste from each meal while we cleaned up our table.
Make sure you scrape it clean so that the next group that uses this doesn't have to weigh your waste again. Right, but then you're not finished. You bring the bucket back to your table. There should never be liquid waste. You're doing whatever at 2. That's not till 2, but at 1 you do go outside before that and play some games. Okay? Now, you can usually help yourself to everything again up here, but when there's dessert at night, you only get 1. Sorry to break the news this early, but that's how we're going to go. All right? Am I missing? Did you do the board? Bad?
Nothing like good food when you're away from home.
Well, we'll see what they say tomorrow after corn dogs.
Oh.
How about scrambled eggs and biscuits today?
Yeah.
Fresh fruit, juice, milk, you know.
We came prepared for all sorts of weather. Raining or snowing, we just kept going.
The object of the team was to try and get our whole group to work together and accomplish some pretty hard tasks. If all of us didn't make it, we had to start all over again.
I'm just Brittany, just I'll call second. Do you see her? Yeah, that's what I was just gonna do.
Okay.
Hey, Raj. Hey, what? Yes, I want to go next. Give it me. Okay, Sean. Come on, Sean. Don't touch. Yeah. Oh no. Yay.
Whoa, nice recovery.
Ready? Pull yourself up. Haley, one in the hole and one on the top knot.
Not so far though. Don't put your foot in so far.
Now, just grab it. You're supposed to get off the board, Shannon. Put it on the top knot.
Natalie.
Help me hold on to it so you can put your foot in the top knot, Haley. And then we'll catch you. Okay? Push. Come on. Get it! Go, go, go!
It's been amazing to see the kids outside of the normal classroom, just to see the different friends and so many of the abilities that you don't always get to see in the classroom just kind of shine through, and the confidence from all the kids. They're nuts. They're just bouncing off walls and they're so excited to try new things. It's wonderful to see.
Hello! Peace, man! Hi! Hey, Portage Room! I found a dragonfly! I found a shell and it's really cool. And we found a baby dragonfly. Jake, you find this. 3 and 4. It stopped raining, by the way. And the weather is good. And I got water all the way. Yes.
Water Canary's class wasn't really about birds, but about finding small creatures living in a healthy pond that can warn us of growing pollution.
You have 2 trainers?
No. Oh, yeah.
Patrick, you have 2?
Yep.
Good work.
Yep.
The double knot store.
Got to watch you guys. That was funny enough.
Okay, that's
Got to look at all the little insects.
Okay, please don't get big boots. Don't get big boots. Be careful in the pond, because you get kind of wet down there. Yeah, deep into your boots. There's water scorpions.
We want you to practice gaining some skills that you could use to...
We made a shelter using only 3 pieces of string and a big blue tarp.
Is it on?
What do you got?
Yeah, it's on. You got a tire can.
Now, what are our basic human needs? Now, our most basic, and we'll go through them one at a time. So who can give me, Mickey?
Water.
Okay. Food. So what are some other needs besides water that we have, David? Shelter. Shelter. Okay, what does shelter mean?
We could use anything we found in the woods, like sticks and stones. The object of doing this is to fit all 4 kids in your group in the shelter. The shelter also has to be warm and pretty waterproof. One of the most difficult parts of building the shelter was deciding where to build it. Some groups built it on a slope and some built it in between trees. Each shelter was different depending on where it was built. Now that we have finished our shelter, we are ready to start building our survival fire.
Thin like these, and you want to find dry stuff, okay? Sometimes if you put something on that's a little bit damp, it'll be okay, but we really want to use dry sticks. All right, now over your pile of birch bark that you have peeled up nice and well right here, you're either going to build a teepee up and over it. You can build a log cabin around it. That means sticks this way, sticks that way, sticks this way, sticks that way. You can build a lean-to, which means pile your sticks up on this side and then lean the branches across the top. But we start with thin sticks and we can work our way up to some bigger stuff. But the more dry it is, the better. And you need a lot of birch bark, okay? So you get a good fire. You have birch bark here, birch bark there. Sticks on the fire, a whole bunch of sticks on the side. Once I see a really great setup, I'll come over and talk to you about lighting your fires and about you're going to pour a little bit of water like this much in the bottom of your can and you need to get it to boil. We only have about a half an hour left in class, so you got to hustle, get this stuff all collected and get ready to build your fires.
We decided to build a log cabin because we thought it would hold the can of water best.
That would have been so funny if we'd done that up on the board. Warm, hot, not warm.
Warm, hot,
Not warm.
freezing.
Leaves, but right now it's windy enough that leaves are going to blow, okay, and especially when they're on fire. We don't want them blowing. So let's try not to add any more leaves, okay? Yep. Find a nice dry spot to do it. Make sure it's dry. The end there. There you go. Okay, good. And you can keep adding a little bit at a time, and we'll get this thing going. And then are you gonna just set your can right on the edge there? Okay, you wanna put a little bit of water in it, Mary?
You gotta get some s'mores.
Did you have water? Yeah, did you bring them? Ah, Tony.
They said we couldn't bring candy.
I know, I was just kidding. Okay, that's good for us now. Set that on the corner. Now, the one thing is we really need to make sure this doesn't tip over. So what are you going to do to make sure that this here, okay, someone's gonna hold the edge of it, because hot water tipping onto you is gonna hurt, okay? And you might want to build something up, like if you find some rocks that you can set over here that'll support it, but we don't want it tipping over on you.
We found out that turtles have a pretty tough life, dodging all kinds of predators and vehicles. If we actually see a turtle, chances are that it's a very lucky turtle indeed.
Pointed edge right there. You can take a look inside. Now, there's different parts of a turtle shell. Have you ever heard of amphibians?
Some classes started in an indoor classroom where our teachers could write on the board, but eventually we always ended up outdoors.
Oh, watch out.
So what you're going to have to do is most of you will be turtles, and then we'll have some predators in between. And your goal as a turtle is that we're going to give each turtle 5 of these chips. And these chips represent your eggs that you're going out to lay.
There's a couple things we need to talk about. First of all, it's a little tougher now that we added a road, right?
During the wolf howl, we learned our place in the pack, and despite all the hills and trees, we eventually found our alpha male.
And you're going to have an adult for every group. You have to stay with your adult. Okay? If you think I'm over here, you can't just be like, oh, say goodbye, she's over here. You can't do that. Okay? You're walking around as one big wolf. You need to be nice and quiet. You can whisper and talk strategy to each other, like where should we go? But you need to be nice and quiet and stay as a group so that you can hear when I'm howling next. That's the only way you'll be able to figure out where I am is by listening to me howl.
So we need to have 6 kids in a group. I want boys and girls in each group, but you can pick your group.
And you howl again. Now remember, when we're outside, as loud and as long as you possibly can. When we're inside, just a little quiet one. Ready? Oh. Gotta keep it in time. Sounds like a ghost.
When you howled, you couldn't exactly tell exactly where you were, but it was just a general direction.
Just kind of a general direction, so you just kind of had to have good faith and kind of move towards the howl. Did you feel like you could hear the other members of the pack well? Mm-hmm. Yep. None of the pack members joined. Is that true?
We didn't. Well, there was really
Briefly.
And right in the beginning, we just went and because we were all looking at some deer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they were up by the Omega.
Okay.
Kids, when they arrive at Deep Portage, really discover some things about themselves. One of those things is that their pace of life really needs to slow down up here because there's no switches or dials that makes everything instant. And you have to take time to listen. Otherwise, you're asking everybody what they just told you. And the fun starts when you listen the first time and you do something and you succeed at it. If you don't succeed, someone else shows you, and slowly you discover things that you can do yourself.
The landform class teaches you what you need to know to succeed in Charlie to Base, so you don't get lost in the forest. We learned how to read a topographical map to count our steps and use a compass.
So just grab one of these maps and you can take a look at it. Or maybe you'll call back and say, oh, we're temporarily misplaced. And by the way, we don't get lost around here. We only get temporarily misplaced. Okay, so you might call and say, we're temporarily misplaced. And the person who's teaching your class might say, well, can you tell me what kind of formation you're supposed to be on? And you might have to look at your map and be able to tell that person what kind of landform you're supposed to be on. So I'm going to draw the base of my hill is going to be the widest around, a really nice big circle. Okay? And then my next point up, if I go up a little bit further, it's going to be a little bit skinnier around usually as you go up. So I'm going to draw a little smaller circle around. And as I keep going up, it keeps getting skinnier and skinnier around as I get to the top. So it's even smaller. And when I get to the very tippy top, it's a little tiny circle like that. Okay? So in real life, it looks something like this. Okay? But if I have to put it on a map, I'm going to have to flatten it out. And so it's going to look like this, a bunch of circles.
The Army gives me credit for 35 years of 5 months, 15 days of service. I was an Army Ranger. And I volunteer out here and do some substitute teaching. I enjoy working with the kids, and it's always nice to work with the young people.
In Charlie the Base, you have to use your map reading skills and direction skills to reach between 4 and 6 points, and then return back to base.
Squared away now.
Yeah.
Okay, are we straight? Okay. Starting right here at this corner of the rocks here, right even with me. Come on here, come on, please. Now stay with your team. I want you to start thinking teamwork here, okay? I want you to keep up with me. I mean, I want you right behind me, just like you are now. I want you to count your paces, start now. No talking, count.
It's kind of fun because all you do is you go around looking for these signs, and it's really fun because if you can't find it, you have to look at the map or radio in. Yeah.
Okay, Chihuahuas, do you see that there's kind of a path up there at the top of the hill? Do you see that over?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I want you to follow that path so it seems like it's going more up the hill rather than back down the hill. And if you keep following that, you'll come to a place, there's like a kind of a ladder laying on the ground, and that's right near your marker, okay? Over.
Okay, thank you. Over and out.
It's sort of a time where you get to work by yourself with a team with no adult around, so it's kind of a challenge.
Who's got the map? What's the page? Tell them. Right up there. You're at 1 now. What is it?
2.
2 tallies. Bearing is 307. You're headed for a hill. You understand? When you get there, you're going to trade compass people, map carrier, and the radio once you call me. And you're going to go on line 2. Do you understand this? You're going to go 2. You're going to go 1 tally 42 paces at 95 degrees. Okay? All right. Take off. Count those paces. And it looked to me like they were paying attention, as best I could tell. And you hope they are. The last group, they wanted to go with the bearing from point 2 at point 1. This is the kind of thing you can sit in that classroom for.
This is Fisher. We found the sign. Over.
Fisher, this is Harley. What's the number? Over.
047109.
Fisher, this is Harley. Good job. That is correct. You're at point 2 now. You may proceed to point 3. Over.
Roger. Out.
See?
Nice. You got the radio down.
Little procedure.
Yep.
Coyote, this is Harley. What is the number? Over.
047119.
Coyote, this is Harley. Roger. Good job. You are at point 2. You may proceed to point 3. Over.
Harley, this is Coyote. Roger. Out. This is Harley. This is Martin, and we are at point 2. Over.
Martin, this is Harley. What is the number, please? Over. What's your pace count, Martin? Over.
We forgot the pace count. Over. We are like misplaced somewhere. We're out down by the lake.
You know, we expect a lot out of them in here in a short bit of time, just like I said, and we do, and I marvel at what they can do. But you just got to have a certain amount of faith and turn them loose, you know. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I don't think there's anything that compares to it as far as experience for the kids. And it's really neat to take a group of kids out here and see them grow and bond and learn so much about the outdoors.
Everyone that needed medicine got it. Our volunteer nurse soon became our resident tick expert.
The infirmary, there's a couple of nice beds there where you can rest. If you're not feeling good, if you can't find me.
As we go in, I want you to make sure that your shoes are tied nice and tight. There's rugs right outside the door. I want you to make sure that you clean the bottoms of your feet off to get any extra dirt.
I was glad the rock climbing wall was inside. We didn't have to worry about slippery or falling rocks, just whether we got our helmets and safety harness on right.
You just kind of want to make a bubble with that extra strength. And this is mainly just to keep it on your head, but you don't want it to where it's choking you, okay? Just so it doesn't come off when you get your chin. All right, once you've got this on, we're going to ask you for a sneeze check. What does your head do when you sneeze? Like that. So when we ask you for a sneeze check, we need you to do this for us. And that's going to let us know if that helmet is tight enough. This green button you need to press in, twist it, and swing it open. Okay? Has everybody got a front loop on the front of their harness? Find your front loop. That's what you're going to hook this carabiner into. So you hook it into that front loop, you let it go. Once this is hooked into your front loop, we're going to ask you for a sneeze check, remember? But then we're going to ask you for a squeeze check. That's when we want you to take this carabiner and we want you to squeeze it like this. You want to make sure that it's locked.
Canoeing was only one of the activities that we could choose during the free choice session. Some chose to practice their skits, go to our interpretive center, take a hike, or play games.
Gracie, bring that oar! We're going farther than everybody else is going to go. Yeah, we're going the wrong way for one thing. I'm going to be You're right. Hey, Emily. I'm trying. Good save, Catherine. You just paddle on one side.
Our last night we had a group campfire. We did some skits and sang some songs. The teachers tried to gross us out, but they couldn't.
Is it time yet? 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 Yes, it's time yet. Yes, it's time. 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 Is it time yet?
Vikings,
Brave and noble,
were noted for their abilities as sailors and for rowing.
Oh, my aching back!
Their longboats. One day the Vikings,
Brave and noble,
led by Eric the Red, decided to set out on a perilous journey to find a new home in Greenland. The Vikings,
brave and noble,
loaded their longboats, and started rowing.
Oh my
Icebergs, floated dangerously close to the longboats.
Back at the lodge, each group made up their own skits. It was pretty obvious that nobody was ready to give up their day job, but we sure had fun.
A math test on fractions. You have 5 minutes to look in your student reference book. Now study.
Hello, Woody. Hello, Tiki. What are you guys going to do today? I don't know. Finish my coffee. You feel like going out and feasting on some kids? Are there kids coming? Yeah, I think that. Oh, no. What's today?
There's no time.
I think it's the day the Carver kids come.
Oh, no. I'm going to the lake.
I bet they will.
Well, we better get them started. So live from East Portage, it's Tuesday night!
Water conservation is very, very important. And this is how it's done. The play that we are doing is called in one ear and out the other. And we also learned how to work in a team.
We use it, reuse it, and we use it for a lot of different things. And I mean, really, we reuse it.
Okay, class, we're going on our hike now. But be careful, there's a lot of roots around here from those darn trees. So, and it's dark, so be careful that you don't fall. We are so lost. We've been walking around for hours.
We just had this line from Hawaii.
Has this ever happened to you? Has this ever happened to you? Getting lost is a very terrible thing, but you'll never get lost when you get one of these new high-tech compasses. I bought one of these new compasses, and my life changed. I lost 20 pounds. When I bought it, my hair changed, and all of a sudden, all these girls just falling all over me. So if you buy one of these high-tech compasses, man, your life will change. You lose all this weight, and you'll be looking great.
Well, can I join?
Sitting on the visible bench.
We moved it yesterday.
The Pioneer Olympics wasn't a competition. It was about trying things that people in the past did to survive or to entertain themselves before TV and video games were invented.
What do you like about Portage?
The Carver 5th grade class of 2002 highly recommends Portage. We offer the following observations and advice.
What was so fun about Charlie DeBase?
Well, you didn't get lost, so that's
I
pretty
did.
fun.
No
Well, yeah,
grown-ups.
Patrick got lost, but Tyler misplaced us.
And the food here is really great. It's like a restaurant food. You can like serve it anywhere. It's
All
the
right.
best.
What was your favorite part?
The favorite part was the mashed potatoes and roast beef.
Food here is really good. Yep, better than at school.
Way better.
Oh, no offense.
I liked rock climbing. That was really fun because most people made it to the top.
I think it was pretty fun because it was like a lot of competition in rock climbing, but you have to encourage your friends and stuff.
The best part about the activities was Charlie the Base, the rock climbing, which I'm about to do in a couple minutes, the hike, howling, and the Pioneer Olympics.
How are the rooms here?
The rooms are great. They have cleaning crews come in and clean for you, and they have maybe 4 to 5 bunks at each room.
How many friends do you have in your room?
All my friends I have in my room.
They're
comfortable.
I liked the people that I was put with. That was really nice.
Did you make any new friends?
No.
Besides
the
They're all
staff,
friends.
no.
They're all friends in your room.
If you had one piece of advice that you could give a younger kid coming to Deep Portage, what would it be?
Probably bring a lot of clothes.
Bring lots of soap.
I'd say it's really fun. Come along and in the bedrooms after a long day and all, and then instead of walking around like in the bathroom floors and stuff, I'd just bring like flip-flops for the night or something comfortable.
My advice is you hope to have your instructor to be Molly and Tom.
My instructions are you kind of like, if you fool around too much, you can't get anything done in Deep Portage.
The trip back is full of anticipation too. Where's mom and dad? Kids start to miss their parents, but when they're having fun up here and learning, they don't realize they're missing them because they're busy, and it's a different environment.
It's so fun and so rewarding. We work really, really hard to get up here, and sometimes we're thinking that we're working a little too hard to get up here, but once we're up here, it's all worth it. As soon as that bus leaves the parking lot at school, then we are already talking about coming back the next year and what we need to do to get ready for it.
There are natural resource topics, hunting, fishing. We have an upland bird hunting camp. We have an aquatics camp. We have a young women in science camp. Most of the campers that come are sponsored through some sort of organization. If you ever have any interest in Deep Portage programs, you can give us a call toll-free at 1-888-280-9908.
came prepared for all sorts of weather. Raining or snowing, we just kept going.
Some classes started in an indoor classroom where our teachers could write on the board, but eventually we always ended up outdoors.
Our volunteer nurse soon became our resident tick expert.
Okay, one more time. Resident tick expert.
Our volunteer nurse soon became our resident tick expert.
Okay. Say the last sentence one more time. Expert.
Okay.
The last sentence.
Our volunteer nurse soon became our resident tick expert.
2, 1.
I was glad the rock climbing wall was inside. We didn't have to worry about
Paragraph 11.
I was glad the rock climbing wall was inside. We didn't have to worry about slippery. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Slippery.
Go ahead. We'll do take
Slippery.
paragraph 11, take 4 in 3, 2, 1. 2, 1.
The object of team was to try and get our whole group.
Number 9 in take 2 in 3, 2, 1.
The object of team was to try and get our whole group to work together and accomplish some pretty hard tasks. If all of us didn't make it, we had to start all over again.
Want to try one more time? That's good. Sounded fine.
That turtles have a pretty tough life. Oh my goodness.
Okay, tape is rolling. Do you need a Kleenex?
No, it's just.
Don't make him laugh.
I'm not. I'm looking
okay,
at
I
him.
know. All right. Alex is composed. Ready? In 3, 2, 1.
We found out that turtles have a pretty tough life, dodging all kinds of predators and vehicles. If we actually see a turtle, chances are that it's a very lucky turtle indeed. Finally.